Hello, hello. The Bloodlust is live. We are here today to play some Phasmophobia. And hopefully get everything running correctly. Gotta turn the camera on. Thank you so much for being here today. We're gonna be checking out week 51. Actually managed to get my thumbnail set up before the start of the stream. Yeah, how about that, So we're gonna hop into it. We got a few records to check out from last week. I managed to get myself into a pretty exciting position. Commemorated myself on the leaderboards, actually, for once. I'm excited about that. So we're gonna check that out here momentarily. If you're new to the channel, hit that follow button. We do Trackmania every Tuesday. It is Trackmania Tuesdays. We check out the previous week's records, and we do author metal discovery and a little bit hunting on the new tracks. Sometimes we'll check out some player-made maps or whatever takes our fancy, but it's Trackmania all day, or every Tuesday. So definitely check it out. As I said, hit that follow, like, and or subscribe. Give it a thumbie. Help me out in the algorithm. Appreciate everybody. So we're gonna hop over here. We are going into Trackmania. What's up, Natalie? Glad to see you. Definitely one of my favorite parts of Tuesday. Hanging out with the chat. Glad to have you here. Looks like everything is running smoothly. We're actually having some good luck for once, so we're gonna try not to jinx that. Let's hop into it. What's going on, Justin? Happy to see you. My buddy actually wanted to let me know that he had a ton of fun on Friday, so he might join us again if you'd be down for that. He's been trying to get me to play more stuff with him, so Phasmophobia is something that we both he's the guy actually that I used to play with back when like Phasmophobia first was released on the preview or whatever. It's still in like preview or whatever technically, isn't it? Ridiculous. Some games just never like hit the official release. Like Grounded was in game preview for like, God, how long was that? Like 3 years, 2-3 years before they finally released it. Outrageous. 26th world on map 3. Holy cow. 26th world. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're gonna have to check that out. That's actually exciting. About to play War Thunder with yo daddy. Got back from Cookout. Good food for cheap price somewhat. Cookout. Got back from Cookout. I'm assuming the way that you typed that out makes me think Cookout is like a restaurant, like a buffet or something. I like going to the buffet. We got a place over here called King's Buffet. It's like a mix between like Southwestern and Asian, if you can envision that. They got some good stuff though. Anyway, we're gonna check out the records here. We're gonna hop over to regions, and we're gonna see I made it into number 5 in Oregon. Actually managed to commemorate myself on the leaderboards there. That will be Cookout fast food. Oh, okay. I've never heard of Cookout before. Been to a bunch. I like Checkers. Checkers is like the best drive-through, I swear. You can't imagine that, yeah. All right, yeah, I'm super excited. I managed to get myself on the leaderboard, commemorated there for Oregon, top 5, hell yeah. It, may just be in Oregon. If we look over US, I'm even in the top 200 in the US, top 250 in North America, and top 1,000 in the world. That's actually pretty sweet. I'm happy with that. And it's a skill track too. That's the biggest thing, is like, I've managed to get myself, I think I have one other where I was like second in Oregon on the second or third on the leaderboard. Got fourth by the end of the week, but it was a random like random chance map, like Bonk Cup status with a bunch of plastic and reactors all over the place. So that wasn't really like as satisfying. This one is an actual true skill map, and I managed to get myself top 5 in Oregon, even top 1,000 in the world. That's actually pretty exciting. Didn't get top 26 though. As I said, we're gonna have to check that one out. So we're gonna start up checking out previous week's records. We're gonna start here with Berry Fever. This is week 50. Heck yeah, man. Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's getting cold over here. You too, man. Catch you next time. If nothing else, see you on Friday, buddy. That's right, come back for Phasmo Friday. Justin and I over there on YouTube, we do Phasmophobia every Friday. Challenge hunts, 2 evidence runs, stuff like that. So we're checking out Berry Fever here. As you can see, my PB had a little bit of airtime there. Nice smooth landing in that section though. Pretty tight in this section, a lot of plastic there, but I did manage to stay straight on a lot of the tech and got a nice quick run in, or a nice high speed into the finish there. And that's really the biggest thing. You want to reduce your sliding on this as much as possible through every tech section and stay straight through the plastic, because as long as you're going straight across the plastic, you are accelerating. So you can see I wiggle a lot there to try to modulate between the tech and the plastic. Want to go straight on the plastic sections and turn on the tech, of course. And it's a pretty tough balance, But we're gonna check out the records here. We're gonna start out with we got ZK Rust, Yorid, Collage Parta, Zuck, and Niku. Few names that we recognize from previous records, previous top 5s in the weekly shorts. We have a few people that we're actually getting pretty familiar with their style and whatnot. Like we know now that Corny is really good at the like reactor tricks and stuff like that. ZK Rust, pretty good on tech, but he also is good with like high-speed dirt tracks. So we're getting familiar with everybody's style here, and we're learning a lot every week when we watch these runs. So we're gonna start with ZK Rust, Yorid, and Collage Parta. From Rust's perspective, they go real wide, or real tight to the right. A little bit of airtime on that drop down, and I'm actually pretty close to him there for most of that run. But as I was saying earlier, oh my, that was, what? Wow, I never would have expected that. But as I was saying last week, part of this run, you want to ride that left part there through that checkpoint, because it's technically tech. Holy crap. The end of that run was unexpected. Nice, good, smooth landing there, straight through that checkpoint, and then they jump off the map to the right and plastic bounce off of the hoof of the, you know, for just a moment at one point, I had the thought to go off of the track, and I was like, you know, it feels like there could possibly be a way to bounce back up to the finish line, but like, I never, it's so crazy. Like, I say this a lot of the time, some tracks are like, they have these wild tricks to finish, and like, I feel like it's hard to believe maybe that wow, I almost actually did that first try. That's crazy. Technically, oh my god. Yeah, anyway, it's crazy how like I see these, or like the thought crosses my mind like, oh, there might be this kind of thing there, but like, nah, you know, I'm not gonna try to waste my time on it. And then that's actually what they do, and it's all like, if I had actually taken a little time to hone in on that thought, I might have been able to come up with, you know, a near world record, or maybe like in the top 100 at one point. But I feel really good about my run. I mean, like, I had a super strong finish. I'm only 0.6 behind him for the like intended path. So anyway, ZK Rust, Yord, Clash Parta, really cool skip there at the end, bouncing off of the hoof of these weird strawberry creatures. So we're gonna go from Clash Parta and Zuck, or go with Clash Parta and Zuck here from Clash Parta's perspective. Really tight to the checkpoint there, a little bit of airtime in the drop down. Nice, catch as much of that downhill as possible, real tight to the left side through that checkpoint, and bouncing off of the hook, or the hoof. Zuck just getting a ton more speed into that finish section because he actually does manage to keep full contact in this section here. He goes really tight and wide through that section, keeps almost full contact, a little bit of a slide there before the downhill, but he didn't have a lot of friction because he leaves the platform pretty soon, so it doesn't affect him too much. It's the landing that matters the most here. So he slides a little bit there, but he lands nice and straight, catches every bit of that downhill, real tight to the left side through that checkpoint, straight across the platform here, and off of the hoof and directly into the finish. Great run by Zuck. It honestly, part of this is kind of hard to believe, like that little tiny bit of a hoof that they bounce off of. But we got Niku here going a little bit tighter to the left, a little air time in both sections there, but gets all of the downhill straight across checkpoint there, and earlier off of the tech onto the decorative platform outside of the map, and just takes a slightly straighter line and more direct into the finish. He gets just a slightly earlier finish there. He was actually so far behind, but the angle into the finish line is what managed to save it for him. There's Zuck on world record pace, but that turn around, that 180 that he did in the air, lost him the world record, unfortunately. But what an incredible run by everybody there in the top 5. Absolutely. Let's look at everybody here. They're all pretty tight there. A little bit of a spread. Looks like Niku definitely takes the straightest line through that, but Clash Parta is ahead. Clash Parta and Zuck there are both ahead. Niku just getting an absolutely incredibly straight line into the finish there. Honestly, kind of hard to believe that he got such a tight angle past that beam, that upright, but excellent work. Niku, the only one going through the right instead of the left, and it worked out for him. Good work to everybody there. ZK Rust, Yord, Clash Parta, Zuck, and Niku for map 1 of week 50, Berry Fever Dream. That's 5 times 50, that's 250. 1, right? No, 246. Boom, 246, nailed it. There we go. That's math for you, baby. All right, so we're gonna go to the next track here. Funky Factory, track 2 of week 50. We're gonna watch the replay here. I actually had a really good run. I'm super happy about the finish cut that I managed to find. I could have gone much tighter there through the start. A little bit tighter drop down there. Kind of lost some speed on that, but nice and straight, or at least a good amount of straightness through the grass there. Keeps a ton of speed. Straight across the wood platform, and that beautiful bounce into the finish there. If I had just kept more speed, I actually, last Wednesday, hunting with the homies, mathematical, right? Forget I ever said that. But I had a really good bounce last week when I was hunting with the homies on Wednesday, and had just a ton of speed, but I landed on the left side of the finish instead of the right, and I wasn't able to get through there. But I had so much speed. If I had landed to the right instead of the left, I mean, I would have already been in the finish there. Like, by the time that I get to the tech platform, or maybe even before that, I would have already been in the finish with the bounce that I had. But unfortunately, I was unable to get a better bounce. That made it into the finish. Math. AL. So we go Funky Factory. We're gonna drive alone and check, view the records. We got Demoku, Yord, Zuck, ZK Rust, and Sobs. We haven't seen Sobs in a while. Holy cow. Sobs is kind of a veteran. Been around for a long time, but we're gonna start with Demoku, Yord, and Zuck here from Demoku's perspective. Really tight to the side of the circle there. Nice low landing. Land straight, little bounce, straight across the plastic. Fair amount of the grass there, and they get a tire lift. Oh, and he goes to the left side of the finish instead of the right. That was actually really hard to see with all three of them there. There was a lot going on, but they go nice straight kind of ish angle there. Good diagonal, keep a ton of their speed. They go across a lot of that grass, but they get a tire lift off of the edge, or off of the rail, technically, the wall there. And I'm thinking that tire clip, since it like rotates them to the right, it forces them to come more back to the left off of the grass, so they bounce off of their top instead of the bottom, thus not catching their tire on that rail. That was the issue that I was actually having, veterinary. That was the issue that I was actually having, was catching my tire on that rail, and they just hit the middle rail, the straight part there, and miss it entirely. That is such a tiny target if you really think about it. When you got like just this random bouncing going on, they all hit that center rail. Yord and Zuck, nice and tight around the hole there, straight, or kind of cut that corner on the grass, but nice low landing. Good diagonal across the grass here, good straight across the plastic, accelerate a little bit more, and they bounce. Ooh, Yord went low, but he bounced off of his top and went to the right. They tied. That's crazy. They both hit the finish at the exact same moment from either direction. What a unique moment that is right there. Zuck, though, I'm kind of surprised Zuck managed to make it in the way that he did, because he bounced his back tire off of the platform on the right side there, and it may have actually boosted him, but in most cases you'd think that would slow him down. Yeah, right there. Oh, that nose down. Interesting. Really interesting. That's crazy. So, tied to the 1000th there between Yord and Zuck. That's actually kind of impressive to see. So let's check out ZK Rust with Zuck behind him there. ZK Rust cutting a lot of that corner, going nice and low, barely missing that rail, straight across that section. Really tight to the inside there, but straight across the plastic, keeping a ton of their speed, getting the bounce, and hitting really low, hitting actually the vertical rail instead of the horizontal one, and just getting a really low landing and a ton of speed into the finish there. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, just keeping a ton of speed and such a tight turn into the finish there. Like, he missed scrubbing the arch into the finish by like maybe a pixel. Lifts his right tire, gets a little bounce to the left, and just, oh my god, what a beautiful early finish. Tons of control there, and it's hard to control that when you're, you know, bouncing off of plastic and stuff. It's pretty chaotic, very random. Got Sobs here, gets in even sooner. That's crazy. So Sobs is actually behind, so cuts the corner here, nice and low, straight line through that section, pretty tight into the wall, straight across the plastic, gains some acceleration back. Good cut. Sobs gains a little bit of speed there, but the bounce wasn't quite as good. However, Sobs manages to get a tighter angle into the finish line. That was quite the battle, actually. Sobs and ZK Rust just neck and neck here through the whole race. Right there, Sobs tiny bit behind, but he makes it into the finish with a much tighter turn and snipes the win from Rust. That is crazy. What a beautiful run. Absolute battle between the two of them there. Sobs barely managing to get into the finish there ahead. right at the end, behind the whole time. That's crazy. So both of the world records that we've looked at so far, the world record holders have actually been behind for the entire track until right up at the finish. They just got a better angle, better line into the finish, which managed to get across the line just that tiny bit sooner. Oh my God, what an incredible run. Well done to everybody there in the top 5. Demoku, Yorud, Zuck, ZK Rust, and Sobs. Absolutely excellent run to everybody. I get to turn our light on here because it's getting dark early. All right, so that was Factory, Funky Factory, week 50, track 247. Track 2. We're gonna move on to track number 3. This is Hurricane Isle. This is actually kind of a fun track. I did have a lot of fun with this one, just the like puzzly kind of nature of it. You're gonna see how I go straight through this section, diagonal through the grass, catch a bunch of that downhill, at least as much as I can, skip that sand nice and low up this hill, and you want to keep as much contact as you can through this section of trees and early into the finish. That was, honestly, I feel really good about that run. That was a strong line. I could have gone a little bit faster if I'd kept more contact on that downhill right there, but I skipped all of that sand, made a nice low landing up this hill, could have kept a little contact there, maybe gained myself a tiny bit of speed into the finish, but overall, number 57 in Oregon, not the greatest, but I still feel really good about that run. Maybe could have gone faster from the right. I did actually, there was a, last week again, hunting with the homies, we were playing on this track a little bit and did get a couple of runs that were really quick, dang it, that were really quick here to the right. We're just gonna do one run here so you can see what's up. Really quick here to the right, and then you actually, this is one instance, one of the few in history maybe, where hitting the brake actually gains you speed. So you want to skip as much of that as you can, low up here, keep all of that, and you can actually, there's just barely a gap there between those trees into the finish, and you can actually get in there slightly ahead of the left path, but I did not manage to thread that needle. So we got number 57 in Oregon. We're gonna check out the records. We got Turtle TM, Carl Jr. Man, he's popping up a lot in the leaderboards. Good for him. He's stuck around for a long time. Definitely showing what being a legend is all about. Carl Jr., one of those players that he always pops up in some of the most unique situations, I would say. Turtle TM, Carl Jr., it's Cam from Turtle TM's perspective, and they go straight here, but they start higher on that section, and oh my God, so much speed there, skipping a ton of that sand and skipping through those trees. Oh my God, Nat was right. Nat was right. You can skip through that section of trees, but we just didn't see the angle. Keeping all of their contact through that section there, skipping a ton of that sand, and what a beautiful jump, smooth landing up the hill, nice angle, and early into the finish. It looked like they were actually really spread out there, despite how close the seconds are. Carl Jr., it's Cam, almost perfectly even through this section, going across that sand, beautiful straight line, smooth up the hill, smooth through the trees, but Carl Jr. wiggled a little bit, lost him a tiny bit of speed there. It's Cam managing to stay straight, got into the finish just a little bit sooner. But It's Cam got into the finish kind of far into it, so there's some improvements to be made there. Not much of an improvement, but there are some improvements to be made there. It's Cam's perspective with Rowangutan, yeah, Rowangutan, so I get it. So his name's Rowan probably, and he's putting orangutan on top of that. Anyway, It's Cam going pretty high there, a Rowangutan getting a low jump through that section. So once again, Rowanton going a little bit left there so he can go sharper to the right, get more of that downhill for a little bit of speed, and gets a slightly lower jump, thus catching more of the road, again collecting a tiny bit more speed and just barely getting into the finish ahead of its cam. What actually an impressive run. Rowanton was ahead that whole section. That jump actually almost ended up messing him up because he hit a bit of that grass, thus slowing him down. It sounded like there was a bit of a crash too. Yeah, there was. You can hear it there. There was a little bit, just a tiny bit of contact probably with the bottom of his car. If you didn't slow down on your PB, it would have been a much better time. Yeah, it's funny. If you think about that, just like that sentence, like on its own, it's kind of ironic and somewhat redundant, but I know based on the context, I know what you mean. Yeah, if I hadn't got just that tiny bit of slowdown right there on the downhill, well, not really a tiny bit of slowdown, it's actually a lot of slowdown. If I had, right there, and that line, I didn't see that line. Yeah, I missed that one. Already hunted the hell out of 3. Oh, I bet you have. So we're gonna go from the leader's perspective here. Rowanton and Jord, we're gonna have Rowanton behind. Jord's ahead here. They're perfectly even pretty much down that section. Rowanton getting a little bit more speed. Jord keeping more speed across the sand and getting a smoother landing in the uphill. And oh my God, that was almost a tie. Jord almost lost it to Rowanton right there at the finish. They merged at the end. Oh my gosh. Jord was ahead by maybe like the breadth of a tire. Absolutely amazing. What a close finish there. Rowanton managing to actually keep more speed through that last grass section and almost catching up to Jord there, but back and forth the whole way. Jord's ahead, Rowanton's ahead, Jord's ahead, and oh my God, almost a tie right there by 200ths. So close. Absolutely beautiful run by everybody in the top 5. Jord and Rowanton though, impressive, so impressive just how close they were at the finish. It's Cam, Carl Jr., the legend, and Turtle TM. Absolutely beautiful work on Hurricane Isle, Track 3, week 50. 248, my bad. We go next. That was the Pathfinder. That is the Speed Tech, but it's a snow car Speed Tech. So it's kind of interesting. Also somewhat transitional. So you want to keep all of your contact here, straight lines as much as possible, low landings, close to the edge there. Turn off your action key, nice tight line there. Try not to wiggle if you can, though it's hard to do that with this vehicle. And you want to have a really tight turn into that downhill and early into the finish. I lost a lot of speed on that first landing and a little bit of speed there for my wiggle. I could have gone lower and thus straighter and gained more speed from the downhill. There was all kinds of improvements I could have made here, but it's a ton of work controlling the snow car with a controller, especially when you have to preset your action keys, and it's kind of an awkward thing to do on console. Like, I feel like there needs to be like some kind of optimization made there, or like maybe these paddles on the Elite controller could actually have like their own unique functions instead of just being like duplicates of a button that's already on the controller, because that's not really helpful. I do understand why they do that, so like you don't have players having like an advantage or something in a competitive scene, but like, what about keyboard? Like, M&K have literally like 120 some odd buttons or something like that. Like, how are you gonna tell me that there's not advantages there? Like, I get like console and PC are separated, but I'm going on a whole tangent here. This is map 4, Radiance of week 50. We're gonna drive alone, check the records here. we got Bosi, Vintage ISD, and Mab TM. Haven't seen actually Mab or Bosi in a little while, so we're gonna go from Bosi's perspective here. Really tight early into the booster there, super low on across that transition. Close to the edge there, nice and tight. Again, close to the edge there, keeping as much of the downhill as possible and landing in the downhill and just riding the edge of that wall by pixels. Holy crap. Low landing there, super tight and across that wall, straight through that section, low there, and oh my, missing that by maybe literally like a handful of pixels. I'm not even kidding. What a crazy transition. Super tight there, straight through that section, nice and smooth through the whole thing. You notice no wiggle, using their action keys all the way through, and that last transition next to that wall is just mind-blowing. Like literally by pixels. They may have even slightly clipped into the wall. Oh my god, that's incredible. That's incredible. Absolutely amazing. So we're gonna go from Vintage ISD, Mab, and Sokrat. We're gonna go from Vintage ISD's perspective here, nice and low, kind of even throwing himself onto the road there. Ton of speed through that section, nice and tight across that section, straight through, down the hill, oh, a little bit of a bump, and that was all it took to lose him the speed. Oh my god, Vintage ISD actually ahead almost the whole run here, nice and tight, basically hitting the edge of that platform, straight through that freaking bottleneck, nice and low in the transition, keeping all of the downhill, but bouncing into a nose down, thus catching just the most minuscule amount of airtime and losing him the speed. Sokrat going through that section just a slight bit straighter. So let's go from Sokrat's perspective with Mab TM here behind him. Sokrat, super early ahead, nice and straight through each one of these sections, so smooth, literally zero wiggle. This guy's probably using a joystick, I would say, or like a flight stick. So much control through this section, really low there, as early as absolutely possible, really close to the edge, nice and tight across this wall, straight through the bottleneck, almost catching that left side. Kind of wide through that transition though, and a little wide down the hill, so allowing Mab TM to actually catch up quite a bit there. But let's go ahead and look at Sokrat and NC Legionnaire's perspective, because these guys almost have a perfect tie. NC Legionnaire ahead by literally 1,000, behind in the start, but catches up through the wood section there, really tight to the right, straight through the bottleneck, incredibly low, and he goes a little bit wider. Oh my gosh, wow. He actually almost lost it there, but he turned at the literal last moment just before going into the finish line and got in, maybe not even kidding you, a pixel ahead. That is, like, you don't even see it because it cuts it off before they actually cross the finish line. But there's just a little bit, like, he turns to the right there. I guess it would be this way from your perspective. He turns to the right there just before the finish line, and it manages to get him in there ahead, but it doesn't even look like it. So let's go Legionnaire's perspective. He's behind, but nice low transition, super straight through that section. Catches up there, almost perfectly even here through the bottleneck. Little low and nice and wide through there, but keeping full contact and straight into the wiggles to the right into the finish line, getting in there slightly ahead of Sokrat, but still, I wish it wouldn't cut off the replay until after they go across the finish line, because there is like a millisecond there that you don't get to see, and it looks like Sokrat is actually still ahead, but they almost managed to tie. 1189 on map 3. I did see you type that in a little while ago, but I've been locked in to the casting. That's pretty good. I mean, that's better than most of my finishes. You're almost in the top 1,000. Definitely pretty good. Absolutely excellent work by NC Legionnaire, Sokrat, Mab TM, Vintage, ISD, and Bosi all in the top 5 there. You said that you were number 26 on, was it map 3 of this week? I actually want to go back and look at that. I forgot to look at that. We got a viewer that finished in the top 50 in the world here on one of these tracks. So we're gonna go drive alone view records. And we can go club 15135. Damn, wow. Map 3 of the current week. $15,135. That's actually a crazy good finish. He's in the Lightning McQueen car. He goes to the right, lots of airtime there, straight through the sand, ton of speed up this hill section, and straight through that gap in the trees, and gets into the finish actually really fast. That was nice. This airtime there, you could have kept a bit more speed with that, but you just went so straight, nice and smooth through the whole thing, no slides, straight smooth landing in every section. Not 26th on this map. Oh, okay. Well, that was a good run, not gonna lie. 26th of the current week, or was that you were 26th before you logged out? Is that what you're saying? And now you're 1189. Okay. We're gonna look at the last one. Submarine was 26th. Yeah. Okay. Well, I finished 26th in Oregon on Submarine Map 5, Week 50. We're gonna drive alone, check out the records here. Actually, we're gonna restart that. We're gonna check out my Ghost, my PB here. As we do view the replay. Now, honestly, I hate this map. The plastic, the water, the reactor down. It's just so much chaos. It's so hard to control. But if you get it right, it can feel like a lot of fun. My finish there was rough, but pretty smooth up until that point. Lost a little bit of speed off of that rebound. Could have bounced off of the back better and kept more speed through that straightaway, but the finish also was rough. Little to the right. Had to kind of wrap myself around the cave wall there to get into it, but I just wanted to be done with this track. This track was cancer to me. It hurt my brain in so many ways. It frustrated me. It made me angry. I already have a short enough fuse. Things like this just are not exciting to me. So we're gonna go ahead and check out the records. We got Limon, Coons, Galenium, something, Sobs, Crazy Dude Crook. Haven't seen Crook in a minute. We're gonna go from Limon, Coons, and Galenium's perspective here, starting off with Limon in the yellow car. If that doesn't make sense to you, I don't know what does. And they go for the bug slide and a zoop across that section. Holy crap, all of this is just wild, and they go inside, bouncing off of that section. Holy cow. It's almost too much, too fast to cast. Galenium getting a wild zoop trick there in that section. Almost losing it at the end though. Went broadside. Slid real hard. If Galenium hadn't have slid like that at the finish, he might have actually had the record. He slowed down so much, went broadside. You know, I was just pronouncing it as I saw it, okay? We're not gonna talk about that. Galenium and Coons, or Coons, Galenium, and Sobs here from Sobs' perspective. Galenium, Coons, and Sobs, they're all pretty close. Sobs actually in the middle there, but nice zoop across that section, basically riding across the surface like a hovercraft. Nice around the rim, smooth into the finish, straight line. good wall ride, and zoop, kind of bug slide through that section almost. And the fact that they like slide sideways through that cave section kind of blows my mind. The fact that they managed to do that and still keep their speed, like, you feel like sliding sideways across that rock like that would slow you down so much. Oh, that's wild. I actually managed to get inside the top 5,000 on this track with my shitty ass run. That's crazy. We're gonna go Sobs, Crazy Dude Crook. From Crook's perspective with Sobs here behind him, or well, it looks like ahead of him. Oh, Crook getting a little bit more speed through the wall ride section, and that really may be just it. He had straighter, like he came out of every turn straighter is really the thing. Everybody else was just a little bit more sideways than he was there. Oh my god, so close to that left side, bouncing off of that and just straight into the finish. It's almost too much to look at. Gale. Yes, that's what I said. Yeah. I don't know what you're thinking about, man. Maybe you need to like check your privilege or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I will never say that again. Great work by Lemon Coons, Galenium, Sobs, and Crazy Dude Crook. All doing absolutely amazing work there. I just like, oh my god, just the combination of all of that is just almost too much for my brain to handle, actually. Excellent work. That was week 50, track 5, Submarine. Cheetahfy, yeah, Cheetahfy, I'm gonna say. Eventualities, Meow Talon, Bzatrifier, and Nexus TM taking the podium by score. Oh, that's Oregon. Okay, I was gonna say, who the hell are these people? Sobs, Yord, Niku, Crazy Dude Crook, and NC Legionnaire. There's some names that we expected. I was so confused there for a second. I'm like, no. Animated into the top 5K overall by score. Actually, that's made it even into the top 4K, almost 3,500. I'm pretty happy with that. That may be my best overall finish by score. I don't want to go back too far, but let's check a couple of these. We go week 48, 33. Nope, already better than that one. 3,300 for week 48. Or 49, and 5,900 for week 48, and probably like 6,000-7,000 for the week before that. And it's taking a minute for these to load, isn't it? 44, 43 overall last week. Oh wow. Yeah, 82.50 on that week. Yeah, 36.25. Honestly, it probably was just this track right there that did it for me. Finishing in the top 1,000 on that one really probably gained me a lot of points. Still even 0.6 behind the top 5 though. Crazy. If only it was one less. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be 4,444. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching a video of guy doing Halo tricks, like jump tricks and stuff like that. And he showed the amount of attempts that it took for him to finish the trick at the end, and it was like 118. I'm all like, oh dude, like missed opportunity. Like even if it was 118 attempts, like you should have just said 117 anyway, just because it, like, for the shout out, like the iconism of it, you know. If you don't know, 117 is like the Halo number. John 117. Week 51, track 251. Starting with the first track of the new week. Breaking into it, checking out the author medals. Oh, and there's ice slides. I already hate it. Okay. Awesome Duck. Awesome Duck 17. I don't know why I saw that name. Oh, because they're all Awesome Duck 17. That's funny. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Glacier Rescue. Okay, well, I'm not a Burmese mountain dog, but, you know, I was a Boy Scout, so maybe that training will come in handy. Okay, that was terrible. Interesting. I wonder if this track is like based off of any recent games that have been released, or if it just like the idea of the rescue thing is like the whole. That's it? Okay. But I was a Boy Scout. Yes, indeed I was. And I nailed the winter survival course. Glacier Rescue, 126 in the first finish. There was definitely a lot of improvements there. I was kind of just like spacing out on the scenery. I've been playing actually a pretty sweet game with one of my old friends called Peak. Currently only available on Steam, and my computer sucks really bad, as you know, so it's not very great at handling the game, or really any game, because it just sucks so bad, but it actually plays Peak really well. The graphics are like not very demanding, and it's a ton of fun. If you haven't heard of it before, they got actually nominated for co-op game of the year, I think, which is cool. It's, I think, currently on sale for like $5. Really worth picking it up, in my opinion. Okay, well, a little bit of an improvement there, but this is a kind of an awkward track. I'm not sure how I want to do this, to be honest, because like it feels like there's improvements to be made, but like I'm not exactly sure where. I feel like part of the big improvement is potentially like an ice skip or something right there. Plus the fact that there's no checkpoints. Whenever there's 0 checkpoints, that is like automatically a shortcut. Like you just know at that point, like it's a shortcut. That actually somehow, what I just did there actually kind of worked. If I can get a better angle on that. Wow. That was fun. We get it, your computer sucks bad. It does suck. You don't understand, it's so bad. But honestly, like, okay, so those flags don't exist. All right. Yeah, this track is so exploitable. Okay. Maybe not. I guess really the best option here is just a good smooth, dang. Smooth ice slide through that section, which I truly suck at ice slides, so. Okay, that actually, if I could replicate that angle, but with just a little bit more speed this time. Interesting, okay. Something about the new ice physics that is hard to understand is the way that boosts work. Because you get, there's like all kinds of different little mechanics that you can exploit here to gain slight speed boosts. If you release the gas and then hit it again, it'll give you just a tiny speed boost on ice. And that nose bounce right there set me up for the perfect angle. Okay, so that was kind of unintentional, but bumping my nose off of that rock there actually somehow conserved like all of my speed and gave me an amazing angle, and I was like about as close as you can get to that last rock before without hitting it. So I just need a better start, but that actually right there, that may be kind of part of the strat. We're gonna try to improve this one more time. See if we can't make it in the top 50 in Oregon. That's almost always our goal, at least to make it top 50 in our region here. Damn. I need to go a little bit tighter. Nope. Oh, too tight. That wiggle there, that was like part of the ice, like their whole objective with the ice update way back was to get rid of the wiggle, and it's like even more powerful now. It's so funny. If you wiggle slow enough, then you can like force mini ice slides and gain just a ton of speed off of it. Maybe? Maybe? Oof. Dang it. The branch. I'm having thoughts right now. Dang it, that's not what I wanted again. I need to quit having thoughts and just execute. Execute plan. Phase 1 something. 1.3. Oof. Nope. Dang. Maybe if I came from slightly more straight on kind of angle there. Nah, dang. Yeah, that snow slows you down so much. Okay. Well. Alright. Let's check out the decorations a little bit. Sometimes these tracks have really cool decorations. We've got interesting little biodome. Random, but cool. There's like tuna in a tiny little frozen lake. Oh. Little rescue operation going on here. Well, it's good that there were survivors, you know. Any little Easter eggs in here, maybe? No. Okay. Maybe they could have painted the inside of the cab red or something. You know. Execute plan 1.3. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's cool. The podium is hanging from the helicopter. That's actually epic. I love that. Random radio tower and stuff. Yeah, they got some cool decoration here. I can appreciate it. I like what they got going on. Random pile of logs on the side of the track. Doesn't really make sense, but you know, maybe they were up here previously and they just happened to land next to a logging camp. You know, we don't question these things. That's a fun track. We move on to the next one. Glacier Rush U, week 51, track 1, track 251. We'll stay there, just outside the top 50 in Oregon, but we'll move on to track 2. This one kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not sure what to think about this with all of the resets in the sky all over the place. I don't know, like, They obviously are just decoration, but it makes me feel like there might be some shenanigans to be had. There's a Verde light. Okay. Light green. Whoa. Interesting. I did that to myself. I was like, why is the camera? I've just gotten so used to like weeklies having locked camera perspectives that I don't even question it when my camera's off sometimes. I clipped the edge of that wood there, unfortunately, but... Oh. Oh. Okay, so there's a hidden finish there to the right. I don't know if it's faster, though. Okay, we can improve that. Not even the author medal. Holy cow. Okay, much more speed through that section. Definitely want to maintain your grip there, and you want to try to skip as much of that grass as you can, I would say. Nice and tight through that. I see. Okay. So you got to go basically immediate 90 off of the edge of that last wood platform. Only need to let go of the gas just a tick. Dang it, clipped the edge again. Nice. Keep all of our speed through that section and ate a bunch of the grass, but that's okay. We still got a bunch of speed here. Go here and super tight to the right. Okay. It might be a little bit faster. No! That always happens at the worst moments too. Like right when you're about to freaking finish the best run of your life. Controller guys. Okay, a little bit more speed through that downhill sec. Ah, too close to the edge there. Want to go nice transition down here. Keep all of our speed, or at least as much as we can. Nice and low through that. Avoid the grass this time. Nice through that section. Nice and early to the right. Dang it, didn't go early enough. Yeah, that hidden finish is actually kind of a challenge. Dang it. Wood always screws me, man. Never prepared for the wood. There we go. Beautiful through that section. Skip as much of the grass as we can. Wiggle there a little bit. Use the wood to our advantage. No! Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one. A little bit of air time there, but we might actually be able to take that. That's a rough section there. Straight down the wood. Really tight here. Oh, barely got a... Yeah, Hidden Fin does not seem like it's worth it. I agree. From like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago to a couple seconds. That's funny. Obituary for your controller batteries. Two weeks ago till just now. Dun dun. Silly. The tombstone meme. Wiggle. Oh yeah, Hidden Fin, totally not worth it. It's like one of the first... They gave me some good runs, but sadly they died. And they go in the garbage. Actually, you shouldn't put them in the garbage. You should put batteries in like a bag of their own, and then, you know, take them down to the recycling center or whatever. But most people don't do that. I try to. We have like a whole box or something of batteries laying around somewhere. We'll turn them in at some point. Wiggle, take the wood straight through that section, and try not to eat the grass. Yeah, that was a terrible run, and I still improved. That tells you how bad my finish was. Oh yeah, I get you. Once again, releasing the gas and or maybe tapping the brake might be a good thing to do there. That's like the second week in a row where that's been a relevant option. Wow, that was actually a ton of speed there that time. Oh, almost in the top 15 Oregon. I really feel like if we keep like almost all of our speed in that downhill right there, we might be able to go to the left there. Yeah. Earlier setup for the rest of that. Wiggle across the grass, go tight to the left. Oh my god. Interesting. Okay. Try to go early to the right and tight to the left there, get more of a setup for that, but it doesn't seem like that actually is good. We want to go, yeah, that's a better route, even if we have to slow down a little bit to keep contact. Overall, we keep more speed. Oh, that was nice. Dang. It was, until it wasn't. Almost perfectly replicated it. Nice. Except for I had a much better finish. There we go. What up, Justin? How'd your War Thunder go? Did you blow up some boats? That's my favorite thing. I like the boats. I was actually playing War Thunder night before last with one of my buddies. We did the daily assault missions and did a few air assault and a couple ground assault games. A pace of asses. That's funny. Well, yeah, the official name is technically a jackass. And the term jackass is based off of the animal and not some guy named Jack being an asshole. Sweden PZ, huh? Isn't like, or no. They added Israel now. I noticed that, which seems weird and random. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I was noticing that they got that they have Israel and a bunch of new tanks for like Sweden and France, I think. I mean, if they're gonna add Israel, should freaking put Denmark in there. They've got like 10 tanks. What they don't want to tell you, though, is that Denmark actually made their tanks for the Germans. Sweden was on the Allies' side, but they weren't always. Alright. This is starting to turn into brain rot. I feel like I just saw something right there. I feel like this could be good, maybe, somehow. Damn it. The wood, man. That wood section. I just want to skip the wood. Okay, there we go. Not nearly as much speed as my PB. I'm starting to freaking zone out. I'm brain rotting. Nope. Okay. Next. I lost it. Lost focus almost entirely on that one. Can't. We're moving on. So this one looks kind of interesting to me. Something Village. Verdant Village, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and actually get a aerial view on this one, because there's so much going on here. The billion finishes. You can go in literally any direction. You can go up this hill right here. That's a 2. And then that's a finish line. So if we go, let's see. That's a 1. That's a 2. So how would we get back around there? Wouldn't be worth it. So maybe, let's see, is there a checkpoint down here? That's the closest it looks like. We'd have to do like a 180 and flick our way back up. That looks like kind of an interesting path, but definitely not optimal. So let's just drive it once and see what we got here. I'm gonna just kind of blindly go this direction, I guess. I feel like there might be something there. Oh, come on. Okay, we go wide. That's an anti-booster. I knew it. Okay. Dang it. Ah. Okay, so you gotta have a really good jump for that, apparently. There we go. Ah, man. Okay, we need to avoid that grass as much as possible. Of course, those barrels are cancer already. Barrel! Okay, there we go. Made it across that. And we go like this, and then wood. Oh no. Finish line. Cool. Nice, author medal. Okay, so we got another one here where the finish line is literally right next to us, so I'm gonna go here. Let's see, so there's a 1 right here. That's also a 1. Okay. So we go 1 here, 2 there, and then there's gotta be a nearby finish from here, right? What's the closest finish to that? They're both 1s, unfortunately. Okay. Ugh. I want to bounce off of that upright and like turn myself around. No way back. This is so confusing. Actually, I'm kind of struggling with this one right now. See, I could go to the left there. Aha. That goes to the same finish. Alright, let's try the left instead. This path didn't look optimal by any means, but it could be faster, who knows? Nope. Where's the finish from here, though? What kind of lame-ass path is that? Okay, there might be a way to actually optimize that. Go through here. And wasn't it right here? Dang it, no. Right, all the way through, and then cross that alleyway. So it's right there. No. Where the hell was it? Oh, it's on the other side of that building. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, so far the first path I took is the best. Gotta be a better path though, because there's literally a finish right here. If I could somehow string a really close one. Oh, actually, wow, that's a much faster path right there already. I see, okay. 13-3. Ah. Okay, so we want to try to stay in contact with the road there. Come on. Nice angle low there. Bounce across the grass. Keep contact if we can. Oh my gosh, there's a second checkpoint. We got to go around the back. Bounce across the grass there. Up, skip that. Go here. Around the back. And then shoot that gap. Dang it. Okay, that actually could be faster. That could be faster. We just need to optimize. Alright, so we go here. Bounce across the grass. Oh crap, what up, dude? Wow, perfect timing too. That's funny. Bro, I'm glad to hear from you, man. Through a train cart, dang. Never saw it coming. Ah. Alive. Still not optimal. Let's see, isn't there? That's another one. Unfortunate. Okay. So let's go straight. Let's see what happens if we go straight. So there's a one here. And that's a 2, isn't it? No, it's another 1. And that's a finish. Huh. So we go here. How you doing, man? Are you with your family and stuff? How are the kids? Ah, it's an anti-booster. Okay, let's see. There's got to be a number 2 closer. 2, yeah, right there. So we go 1. How do we go from there to there? 1, 2. Our lovely little shits as always, right? Well, you know, it's good to know that it didn't screw up their schedules or patterns or anything. Probably better off, to be honest. Some days are better than others. I get you, man. You really saved yourself a lot of pain in the long run. It's gonna suck for a while, and it may not feel that way, but... You've only been there for like a week. Maybe that. Interesting. That path feels like there could be something there. That goes nowhere. Really, really, really feel like I'm missing a lot on this. There's reasons. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I tried. I succeeded for a while too. Like about 2, almost 3 years. Nothing lasts forever though. Okay. Now I'm curious. So we go... And that's a 1. So we go backwards there, 2 to 1. And then Flea may be a good path. Dang it. Okay. Forced to succeed. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, you either freaking succeed or get punished. Yeah, love that. Oh my, right there, and I almost PB'd. Ah! Keeps dying to planes. Oh no. Yeah, that's annoying when you're freaking playing in a boat and dude comes by and hits you with a freaking like 250 kg. There's nothing you can do about that. Literally nothing you can do about that. It took me a while, but I think I finally found a good path here. Ah, shit. Being a long way from the family and in the army does, yeah. Yeah. It's rough on everybody detaching and moving into a new situation on your own, no matter how you look at it. Okay, so this is actually a slightly better path than I had, but it could still be even that much more slightly or better. Ah, shit. With a family of your own as well, yeah. I feel like people try way too hard to make that happen earlier than it needs to. That was crazy. I had 2 big freaking clips there, and I still managed to get in faster. Okay. Somehow that one actually worked out for me the first time. Ooh, huge. Let's go. That was a massive improvement. Oh my god. Okay. Not a 13.3, but I'll take a 13.7 for the moment. Let's see, is there a better finish from there? Maybe. Yeah, I think people push too hard to do the whole family thing before they're ready. Top 20, baby. Yeah, in Oregon. I do feel pretty good about that. It was in the 1,000 in the United States. Let's go. Okay, well, let's see if we can't find one more path. I feel like there's another one over here that could be cool. It's got a really slow start, but... Oh yeah, no. Already done with the other path. Interesting. Okay, I might actually be able to do that faster. Lower transition, faster through this section. No. I don't think so, actually. The day you finish as #1 in Oregon. Yeah, I actually last week got #5 on one track. Overall, leaderboards are locked. Commemorated forever, baby. Ah, dang. Right. Chef's kiss. Ah, that was a good run, but yeah, I don't think you can improve in that direction. There's a finish right up here to the left. Right there. I feel like that could be the path. How would I get up there? So where's my #1 for that route then? That's #2. Where's the #1? That could be a really good route. But there's also a turnaround there. Let's see, actually. Beating, yeah. Yeah, actually, Shield Bandit hasn't been on the leaderboards in a couple weeks. I don't know, maybe they died. That's not wishful thinking, I promise. I'm just kidding. Alright, well, maybe not. I already got a pretty good path, but... Interesting. Oh my god, there is so much going on here. So many different routes I could take. But which ones are actually good is the question. Because there's a finish line right here. Actually, oh yeah, Maybe. Ah. Taking a break, maybe? Yeah. Maybe. Either way, I'm not gonna complain. I think that might be the route there. Going around this rock may seem suboptimal. Ugh, this is a tough route, but I feel like it might be a minor improvement. Bad landing there, but I had more speed. That's what's like the biggest, what's most important, really. There we go. Oh, you know, I'm having wild thoughts here. Whoa, that was way more speed than I expected. I don't know if that'd be worth it, though. Alright, well, I think I'm going to leave that one for now. Number 14 in Oregon is pretty good. Almost top 500 in the US. We'll take it for now, but I feel like I could still make a couple of good improvements on that. Let's check this one. I was actually really interested in this. This has, like, the exact, like, rally style look to it that I love. So we're going to see what's going on here. It is tech, though, which is slightly disappointing, but it could still be fun. We'll see what happens. That is a fast one right there. Okay, okay. Oh. Ouch. Okay. Whoa. Holy crap. Whew. I had to kind of lock it in for that. Even with as slow as I took it. 100? We can get inside the top 100 there. A little more speed that time. Dang it. Yeah, that's okay. Not worried, bro. More concerned about you just freaking staying safe and taking care of the kids. Getting back on your feet is gonna be hard, but now you don't have the biggest thing weighing you down. You know, a little bit of a drop down there actually would be good to kind of initiate a slide. I was thinking that, but it's hard to do that intentionally. You gotta really have a good lineup for that. Oh my god, so much Too much speed there. Maybe. No, dang. Ah. What? Crap. That one comes up so fast. No, man. That's another thing too about drifting in this game is like you gotta be like at the perfect angle to initiate it. Crap. There may be a way, if I go wide there, might be able to take that full grip actually. No. Not even. Dang it. Okay. Is it faster to freaking jump that? No. It could be actually, but keeping control in the landing, yeah, would be harder than just, you know, actually it does seem like it might be a little bit faster. Let's go! Oh my god. I can't believe I freaking nailed that drift right there. Holy crap. Freaking my heart's just like as soon as I hit that line, I was like, oh my god, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Oh, so close right there. I released a lot, but still that was an incredible drift for me. You gotta initiate that one so early too, like almost while you're still in the downhill, which is hard because you don't have enough speed. You gotta like right as you hit the freaking speed or the angle or whatever, or both for that, you gotta initiate it like immediately. Crap. You could almost full speed that without a slide. Yeah, you can actually full speed that, I'm thinking. Or no slide, rather. Okay. A little bit more speed that time. I'll take it. It's still an improvement. That's an improvement. Hey, top 75. Hey, that's good. That's good. We can still do better, though. We can do better. Dang it. How's the stream looking? We're not having any crazy skips or anything, are we? Ooh, nice. Good speed there. Almost. Dang it. Barely clipped the edge of that, unfortunately. Ugh. This first drift is so tough for me. That's hardly even a drift right there. Oh, look at that speed. Holy crap, let's go. Yeah, no drift is the way to go for sure. That almost got me into the top 50. All right, I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with this track, but it's a tough one. It really is. Nice and low. Oh, full grip that section. Oh, the speed. Oh my God, that was, oh my, I almost reset right there. But the fact that I landed ahead, I was like, okay, we can do this. Keep it, keep it. Holy crap. That was wild, actually. Awesome, thank you. Oh man, that was such a close one right there. Holy cow. That drop down, I came so close to that wall. Right here. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I managed to freaking control that. That was actually pretty wicked. Still not amazing as far as pace is concerned, but fun to watch. Whoa. How did I not hit that wall? Dang it. Landing was way bad there, though. That's about as close as you can get, I'd say. Boom! Every time, just getting a little bit faster. Nice, finally. That's number 50. Let's see if we can make it inside the top 50, though. Ah, dang, okay. Need a really good angle for that one. Nice early drift, good angle, ton of speed out. Nope. Too broad. Ooh, that would have been good if I hadn't hesitated. I released. Oof. Okay. Actually, you know, going super wide, just hitting the brake a little bit, and full speed. Yes. Oh my God, look at that. Okay. No, dang. I think that's the idea for the next one too, actually. Just full speed through that. Tap the brake just a tiny bit. Nope. A little bit more. Oof. Ah. Man, I had a good angle there. You gotta have just the right angle. Whoa. Oh, man. Once again, so close. There we go. It was a little bit of a drift. It wasn't full grip, but was the angle we're looking for. Would like to get one more good improvement here, which I know I can. No, dang it. I hesitated. Never hesitate. Shoot first, ask questions later. Oh, so much speed out of that. Okay. Dang it. Get one section so good, and then the next section just screws you. No. Oh my God. If I hadn't have released. Too many things going on. I keep trying to drive this thing like it's a real car. I'm probably never gonna get away from that, to be honest. Played way too many simulators. Damn it, again. I was literally telling myself, don't let go of the gas, and I did it anyway. It's just such a habit. hit the brake, tap the clutch, and let go of the gas. Like, or hit the brake, let go of the gas, tap the clutch, and then freaking, you know, start over again. I will get this. Oh, I released again. That was a good angle, though. Starting to kind of figure out that angle. Nope, not soon enough. That's the other thing, is you gotta turn so soon. But if you go too soon, then you don't drift. You want to either, oh my gosh, you want to either hit the brakes and do a full grip all the way around, or you want to drift super early so you can get a tight line through there, but they give you almost no time to set up. I had to release. Damn it. Man, I need to full grip this section. Full gripping each section is where you're gonna get the most possible speed. That last turn, you're gonna probably have to drift a little bit, but whoa, just barely brushed the wall. No. Oh. Damn it. There we go. Oh no, that was such a good run. I love spicy food. Bro, like sriracha is one of my favorite drinks. This is actually a good map. I do enjoy it. The style of it's a lot of fun. We're gonna stick to number 50 in Oregon. Darude. Week 51, track 5. Dirt reactor. Natural dirt reactor. Interesting. Oh, this is interesting. It's kind of like an RPG map in a way. The zoop potential's crazy, though. You could literally zoop every section. Ooh. See, that kind of stuff. That's unfortunate. Had so much speed right there. That's the other thing about reactors. It's honestly such a random thing. Sometimes you get crazy good runs. Other times your freaking landings just completely ruin you. Wow. That barrel roll in the middle was completely unintentional, but sick. Not gonna complain. Damn it. Wasn't trying to do it again that time, but I mean, you know, if I did do it again, honestly, it might be worth some investigating, that could be a good setup for a Zoop. Yeah, I put Tapatio and like Sriracha on just about everything. For sure. And I was only half kidding when I said Sriracha is one of my favorite drinks. Okay, okay. No, shit. Actually? No. How am I still ahead? That's crazy. How did I get through that whole section and still ended up ahead? That looks so bad. Wow. Had much more speed in my finish on the previous PB. 69. Giggity. Dang it. Okay. Ooh, that was a good start. Damn. The variable nature of just this whole freaking everything about this, the run, the boosters, the platforms, it's just so random. Was there a follow-up to the asking if I like spicy food? I actually had Philly cheesesteak for lunch. Not really spicy, but some people kind of think it's spicy. Okay, no. That black line actually is a good hint for where you want to line up. Oh, dude. Oh my, yes. If I can hit that hill and freaking fly through that last checkpoint straight into the finish, oh my god, that would be insane. Not gonna say that's been my goal all along because that would be untrue, but something like that is definitely, when you're on a reactor map, that's like always in your mind. Like, where can I find a spot to launch myself at like 1 billion miles an hour straight into the finish? Reactors are so chaotic. They have probably like the biggest RNG of anything in this game is reactors, but there are really good ways to control it and to force certain things to happen that you wouldn't think would be good, but just because of the physics of this game and like the mechanics of certain things, you can come up with some just absolutely wild freaking strats. Wild strats with even wilder outcomes. Because sometimes you may have a strat and then like what actually ends up happening is like 1,000 times cooler than you could have ever planned. Holy crap, that was like a whole second. Boom, into the top 1,000. Freaking just absolutely leapt into it. Let's go. That's again like just the interactions. If you can get just a really good smooth landing, good flow between each transition, reactor allows you to carry much more speed through every section, but you really have to pay attention to like how you're angled through every spot, because the biggest thing really, more than probably anything when it comes to reactors, is like how you're angled, because the reactors are very sensitive and will launch you off in literally any direction, and it's all based on how your vehicle itself is angled. And you can force it to give you some crazy speed boosts sometimes too. Oh my god, that actually could be a strat right there. That sign. Oh, that's such a good setup. That sign could be the strat. It's kind of crazy to think about, but it could be. If you hit that sign right, get a good flip. Oh, I did not. If you hit that sign right and get a good flip, it could 180 you straight into the finish. You just fly straight at it. Because of the way that it's angled, it's already pointed at the next checkpoint when you come out of it almost. Dang. That's not the launch I wanted. I'm not gonna freaking brain rot this one too hard, but I am gonna give it a couple of attempts because I think I found something pretty wicked here. Nope. Ah, too much. I needed to freaking turn back. That's another thing too. I don't really know how to control the reactor in the air. It's not like a real rocket or airplane or whatever, so the physics of it or the controllability of it. Not exactly the word I was looking for. There's a more correct word there, but my brain's not. Oh, dude. Nope, that was almost, actually. Whoop. Yeah. Yo! Oh! Because I was turning, but like I said, I'm not good at controlling reactor in the air. Somebody else that actually knows what they're doing probably could freaking make this work out for him, like on the first try, probably, or within a handful of tries. But for me, I'm gonna have to really lock in and kind of get lucky. Oh no, backwards. You know, if actually, even if that went that direction but landed on the downside of that hill, might get a ton of speed off of it. Whoop. No. Might call this one. No. Dang. Well, we got number 22 in Oregon. Pretty good run. Good, nice skill path. Darude. Map 5. We got ourselves some pretty good positions overall in the world. Number 4K and numbers in top 4K and the top 6K on track 3 and 5. Overall in Oregon, we got a pretty good position. I'd say overall probably sitting inside the top 30, maybe even the top 20, but got some good scores. Definitely could make some improvements on a couple of these. Let's see if we can't get a better score on this ice map. Get ourselves actually inside the top 50. Just barely sitting outside the top 50. Managed to make ourselves actually inside the top 50 on every other track so far, so Let's not break that. Break that trend. Keep all that downhill. Nice early speed slide. Dang it. I needed to release just a tiny bit there. Yo, instant improvement. Let's go. I will take that. Boom! Deep inside the top 50. Like, didn't even take that much effort. Okay. Just needed to lock in a little bit for the ice, I guess. Early angle on the snow slide there. Did not keep nearly as much speed that time, though. Unfortunately. Alright. Dang, too much turning. Ah, I see why I screwed up. Because there's a gear up there. Ah, okay. So that's gonna be kind of a hard one. You have to manage your gears right this time. And gears is probably like one of the hardest things to understand in this game. Partially because of the fact that it's automatic. You have no control over it, and you can't change to manual. So you can't affect, or you can't control, rather, when the gears happen, but you can affect it. It's based on speed and a couple other factors. Sometimes even the speed won't do it. Like if you're going up a hill or something like that, you can be at the right speed to go up a gear, but it won't gear up because of the like force against it or whatever. But the most important thing to understand in this instance is that while you're on ice, if you gear up while you're on ice, then you lose traction for just a moment. So you actually want to avoid the gear up in this situation, I think. Or you want to get it early. Yeah, I think I got the gear early on my PB there. That's part of the reason why I was able to go quite a bit faster. And you want to come off of that like as straight as possible, but you don't want to have to release at all if possible as well. So you want to set yourself into the perfect freaking slide and then just stick with it. Yeah, you want the perfect angle and you don't want to have to change it at all. But again, that's very difficult, knowing when to set up your angles. There's a lot of physics and mechanics that you're actually working against on this one. It seems like such a very simple track, and it really is, but when you're actually trying to optimize it, there are some incredibly subtle nuances that make a huge difference with like how your results are, or what your results are going to be. You can see how much further ahead I am on my PB. That downhill right there made a huge difference for one. Okay, that was a better downhill even. Dang. Ugh, yeah. Gears, man. Gears are by far the most convoluted thing about this game. Oh, that was a terrible freaking ice slide. I made one really good improvement, and then now I'm just struggling. Interesting. Okay, there was actually, I got a little bit of data from that. Instead of trying to fix your angle, tap the brake. Nope, didn't work that time. That might be an option there. If I can get a nice smooth transition here, and I can get close enough to that wall, I might be able to just go straight across the ice. I don't know if that would be optimal. No. Definitely gain more speed by ice sliding. But that is kind of a thought. Again, there's some data I can use there. Dang. Not tight enough. Oof. Too far that time. There's got to be a way to beat this map. I feel like I'm coming so close to something big, but I'm just off a little bit every time. My speed slide isn't quite the right angle is really the biggest issue. Speed slides are hard, or ice slides are hard though. Because there's a lot of variables to ice slides, especially now. Alright, I think I'm probably only going to do a couple more runs on this one. That actually might have been the perfect angle if I hadn't tapped the brake that time. biggest thing about your ice slide is not so much the angle across the ice, but rather how smoothly and straight you come out of it on the other side, with like as few adjustments as possible. You want to be able to make it across the ice in one shot without having to adjust at all. Every adjustment is a loss of speed, basically. And a gear up counts as an adjustment. So you kind of want to prevent the gear up too, especially while you're on ice. Having a gear up in the middle of a ice slide is the worst. Really, you want the gear up to happen at the end of the ice slide. Pretty much the moment that you hit the pavement is when you want that gear up to happen. That was pretty smooth, but I'm not sure how I managed to do so much better on my PB. Ooh, that's about as tight as I've gotten that. Yeah, well, number 33 for now is acceptable, definitely. I will take that. Definitely inside the top 50 in Oregon. Now, I would say probably even inside the top 20. But we're going to go ahead and reset it real quick just so we can see for sure. Give the game a moment to breathe. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, if you are new to the channel and you're hanging out still, you've made it this far, please hit that follow, give it a thumbie, subscribe wherever you are. It really helps me out. Greatly appreciate you. Working on a Patreon. I know everybody's asking for money, but I'm gonna set it at $1 so nobody has to, break the bank. If you want to donate more, you definitely can do that. But as I said, I'm working on getting it set up, so I'll let everybody know when I got my Patreon up and going. I've had a couple of people ask me how they can donate to me. There are a few ways currently that you can donate, but they're pretty specific. Like you have to have an account with like a specific thing, and not everybody wants to have to make an account with a million different apps and whatnot. So again, thank you so much for being here. Please do hit that follow. We're gonna hop back in just real quick just to see if the scores updated so we can see where we landed in the overall. Sometimes it takes like 20 to 30 minutes for it to update. It's like it updates at like globally at give me Oregon overall. Still no overall. Dang. Well, I'm going to assume it's probably inside the top 30. If you're a Trackmania player, check out my club, TBL Rally, and also my campaign, STDM Rally. Got some cool tracks in there. Join the club, be part of the team. Check out the new tracks when they come out. I am working on track 6 for the campaign, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you once again for being here. I really do appreciate everybody. I have a ton of fun hanging out with y'all every week. Hope that I see you again in the next one. Gonna be back tomorrow with some whatever. So come join me for that. Hop in the chat. Help make it interesting. Hype it up. Thank you all for being here. Stay safe. Stay warm because it's getting freaking cold out there. And as always,